Sure, I can stay late. Of course I'll drive you. No worries, I'll cancel my plans. Sound familiar? It probably does, because you're the reliable one, aren't you? The fixer, the human Swiss Army knife everyone reaches for. And deep down, you probably think that badge of honor makes you a good friend, a good partner, a stellar employee. But let's be honest, something feels off. Every time you nod yes, there's that familiar knot in your stomach, your jaw clenches, and by Friday night, you're absolutely running on fumes. You're scrolling through social feeds, wondering why nobody ever offers to help you. Well, here's the brutal truth, and it might sting a little. Your niceness isn't actually winning you loyalty. Nope. Instead, it's quietly teaching people to take you for granted, and even worse, it's draining the self-respect right out of you, drop by agonizing drop. Today, we're flipping that script, completely. I'm going to show you why setting firm boundaries won't make you selfish or mean. In fact, it's quite the opposite. It will make you respected, it will make you sane, and, counterintuitive as it feels right now, it will actually make you far more loved. Stick around, because by the end of this, you won't just understand why you need boundaries. You'll know exactly how to say no without sounding like a jerk. We're talking about reclaiming your life, your energy, and your peace of mind. On the surface, people-pleasing looks incredibly generous, doesn't it? It appears selfless, kind, and accommodating. But underneath that veneer, it's often a hidden contract, written in disappearing ink. You give, you give, you give, and you silently, desperately, expect the world to return the favor. You anticipate reciprocity, recognition, or at least, some relief. And when that payback never quite materializes, when your unspoken expectations are consistently unmet, you find yourself joining a club no one ever brags about. The Secret Resentment Club. The meetings for this exclusive club? Oh, they happen at 2 a.m., don't they? That's when your mind replays every single yes you didn't truly mean, every favor you begrudgingly performed. You're mentally tallying the energy tax you paid, the sleep you lost, the personal time you sacrificed. It's an exhausting, lonely audit. And it's not just in your head. Research, like studies from the University of Michigan, has shown that chronic people-pleasers experience significantly higher cortisol surges. That's the stress hormone, folks, and it means you're headed for burnout twice as fast as your more assertive peers. Translation: your body keeps score, even if you keep smiling, nodding, and saying, "It's fine." You didn't sign up for burnout, did you? You signed up for safety. Maybe as a kid, keeping the peace, being agreeable, or staying invisible kept you out of the firing line. Perhaps it was a survival mechanism, a way to navigate an unpredictable environment. But now, those childhood bodyguards, compliance, overhelping, conflict avoidance, have transformed into adult shackles. They're holding you back from every dream you're too exhausted to chase, every passion you're too drained to pursue, and every genuine connection you're too resentful to foster. This isn't just about feeling tired. It's about a fundamental erosion of your mental well-being and a constant state of low-grade stress that impacts everything from your sleep to your immune system. You deserve better than a life dictated by silent agreements and simmering bitterness. Okay, picture this. Imagine living in a house with no doors. None. Anyone can just walk in, take what they want, leave crumbs on your couch, track mud on your clean floors. You'd hope that if you just kept feeding them, eventually they'd bring groceries, right? You'd keep tidying up, offering snacks, smiling, hoping they'd notice and reciprocate. Spoiler alert, they won't. Not because they're necessarily malicious, but because they don't have to. There's no barrier, no clear signal of where your space begins and theirs ends. Boundaries are those doors. Simple as that. They don't lock people out permanently. Instead, they decide who gets invited into your living room, into your personal space, and on what terms. They're not about exclusion. They're about definition. And here's the beautiful paradox. The moment you install a door, the people who genuinely care about you, the ones who value your presence and your well-being, actually feel safer inside. They understand the rules of engagement. They respect your space, and they appreciate the clear expectations. They know where they stand, and that clarity builds trust. As for the ones who were just grabbing snacks, the ones who benefited from your open-door policy without contributing, well, they have two choices. They either learn etiquette, they learn to respect your boundaries, knock before entering, maybe even bring a housewarming gift, or they bounce. And guess what? Either way, you stop vacuuming crumbs off your self-esteem. You stop feeling used, depleted, and taken for granted. Studies published in the Journal of Social Psychology consistently show that in relationships where one partner sets clear, kind limits, there's a significant improvement. They report 30% higher mutual respect and a remarkable 25% lower conflict after just 6 months. This isn't about breaking relationships. It's about revealing who's truly willing to respect you for who you are, not just for what you can do for them. Respect, my friend, is the absolute root of real love, real connection, and real intimacy. It's the foundation upon which healthy relationships are built, allowing both individuals to thrive without feeling constantly exploited or overwhelmed. Before you can even begin to speak a boundary, you absolutely have to feel it. Your body, believe it or not, is already sending you early warning flares. It's been doing it for years, probably decades, but you've just been taught, or perhaps conditioned, to ignore them. We often override our internal signals in favor of external expectations. So, next time a request lands in your lap, whether it's a colleague asking for help on a project, a friend needing a ride, or a family member making demands on your time, just pause, take a moment, notice what's happening inside you. Does your chest tighten a little? Do you find yourself holding your breath, even just for a split second? Does a small, quiet voice whisper deep inside, "I really don't want to"? That, right there, is your internal alarm system. It's not a suggestion, it's a signal. Name it in real time, even if it's just to yourself. Alarm ringing, possible intrusion. You don't have to act on it yet, or even respond to the request immediately. The first crucial step is simply to notice it, to acknowledge its presence without judgment. To really hone this skill, try this. Keep a simple note on your phone or a small notebook titled Tugs. Every single time you feel that internal tug, that uncomfortable pull to say yes when your gut is screaming no, jot it down. Don't overthink it, just a quick note. Who, what, when. Sarah, extra shift. Mom, Sunday dinner. Boss, new task. Within just a week, you'll start to spot undeniable patterns. You'll see certain times of day, certain people, certain types of requests, or even specific phrases that trigger your automatic compliance. This awareness is step 1, and it's non-negotiable. Why? Because you simply can't change a habit you haven't even admitted you're doing. You can't redirect a ship if you don't know it's off course. This self-observation is your compass, guiding you back to your own needs and desires. For most of us, the thought of saying no conjures up images of needing a 12-slide PowerPoint presentation. We think we have to explain our entire calendar, our current financial situation, the state of our grandmother's health, and perhaps provide a historical overview of our childhood traumas just to justify declining a simple request. But here's the liberating truth. It doesn't. A boundary, a genuine no, can be short, it can be polite, and it can be incredibly firm. It doesn't require a lengthy defense or a detailed explanation. Try these 3 simple yet powerful scripts. Practice them out loud in front of a mirror if you need to. Let them roll off your tongue until they feel natural. I appreciate you asking, but I can't commit to that right now. Notice the appreciation for the ask, followed by a clear, non-negotiable boundary. It's polite without being apologetic. That doesn't work for me, but I hope it goes well. This one is direct and empowering. You're stating your truth without needing to justify it, and you're still offering a positive sentiment for their endeavor. Let me get back to you. This is your secret weapon, your pause button. It buys you invaluable time if you're afraid you'll fold under pressure, or if you need a moment to check your schedule or consult your tugs list. It gives you space to think clearly, rather than reacting impulsively. Notice what isn't in any of those scripts. There's no apologizing for existing, no lengthy justification, no over-explaining. Why? Because you're not rejecting the person. You're simply rejecting the request. This is a crucial distinction. Your worth isn't tied to your ability to say yes to everything. If they push back, which some people will, remember this. Repeat your boundary once, calmly and clearly, then stop negotiating. As I said, it's not possible for me. Or, my answer remains no. At this point, silence becomes your most powerful ally. Every extra sentence you add, every additional detail you volunteer, actually invites them to try and solve a problem you've already solved for yourself. You've stated your boundary, now let it stand. The discomfort of their silence is not your responsibility. Setting boundaries isn't about going from 0 to hero overnight. Don't aim for your hardest boundary first. That's like trying to bench press 200 pounds on your very first day at the gym. You'll likely injure yourself, get discouraged, and give up. Instead, choose a low-stakes arena, a place where the emotional risk feels manageable. Start with something tiny. Tell the barista you want oat milk, not soy, even if they automatically reach for the wrong carton. It's a small correction, but it's an assertion of preference. Tell your friend, "Hey, I'd love to chat, but I only have 15 minutes before my next thing." Then, actually stick to it. Celebrate these small victories. Seriously, give yourself a mental high five, or even a quiet fist pump. Why? Because your nervous system needs proof. It needs to see, firsthand, that the world does not, in fact, implode when you assert a preference or protect your time. This positive reinforcement is crucial for building confidence. Gradually, you can start to increase the weight. Say no to a project at work that you genuinely don't have the bandwidth for, even if it feels daunting. Ask your roommate, politely but firmly, to do their dishes. Inform your family that you'll be leaving the holiday dinner at 7, not midnight, because you need your rest. Each repetition, each small act of boundary setting, builds what therapists affectionately call boundary muscle memory. It's like any other skill. The more you practice, the stronger and more automatic it becomes. Over time, that initial spike of guilt or anxiety will flatten out, becoming less intense and shorter-lived. Eventually, saying no when you need to will feel as ordinary and as essential as buckling a seatbelt before you drive. It becomes a protective reflex. And a crucial safety tip for these early stages: keep one supportive person on speed dial. This could be a trusted friend, a partner, or a therapist. Someone who understands what you're working on. When you feel those jitters, that post-boundary anxiety, vent it out loud to them. Talking through the discomfort prevents you from retracting the boundary in a moment of panic or sending that midnight, "I'm so sorry, I can do it after all," text. Having an ally makes all the difference. You absolutely will feel guilt. Expect it. Anticipate it the same way you expect the engine light to flicker on after 100,000 miles on your car. It's a predictable part of the process, especially if you're new to this. But here's the critical distinction. Guilt is not evidence that you're doing something wrong. No, guilt is simply evidence that you're doing something new. It's a signal that you're stepping outside your comfort zone, challenging deeply ingrained patterns. Your brain, bless its protective little heart, is comparing this unfamiliar action to an old loyalty contract it wrote at age 7. A contract that likely promised safety and acceptance in exchange for compliance and self-sacrifice. It's a deeply ingrained habit, and breaking habits, even beneficial ones, can feel uncomfortable. So, when that guilt monster rears its head, don't let it derail you. Instead, acknowledge it. Thank the guilt for showing up, because its presence is a clear indicator that you are stretching, that you are growing, and that you are challenging old narratives. And then, keep going. This isn't just anecdotal. Research, including studies from Columbia University, suggests that the average spike of boundary-setting guilt peaks around 48 hours, then drops sharply. Think about that. A temporary, intense feeling that dissipates relatively quickly. Now, compare that to the resentment you feel from saying yes when you desperately wanted to say no. That resentment can linger for weeks, festering and poisoning your mood, your relationships, and your overall well-being. It's a slow burn, a corrosive force. So you have to pick your poison, don't you? Would you rather experience a temporary, acute rush of guilt that fades, or weeks of simmering resentment soup, slowly eroding your peace? The choice, when framed this way, becomes remarkably clear. Embrace the guilt as a sign of progress, a necessary discomfort on the path to greater self-respect and authenticity. It's a small price to pay for reclaiming your emotional landscape and protecting your mental health. Let's be real, some people have benefited immensely from your historical lack of limits. They've grown accustomed to your endless availability, your constant yes, your willingness to prioritize their needs over your own. So, when you start installing those new doors, don't expect them to applaud your newfound assertiveness. In fact, they might react with confusion, frustration, or even outright anger. They might try to guilt trip you. "Wow, you've really changed, haven't you?" As if changing for the better is a bad thing. Or they might escalate, attempting to manipulate you. "If you really cared about me, you'd help out." Recognize these patterns, because they're classic manipulation tactics. Psychologist Susan Forward eloquently described this as fog: fear, obligation, guilt. They're trying to use your own emotional vulnerabilities against you to maintain the status quo. But here's your mantra: hold steady. You are not responsible for their feelings or their reaction to your boundaries. You are responsible for communicating your limits kindly, clearly and consistently. That's it. If they persist in trampling your boundary, if they refuse to respect your no, then you may need to introduce a consequence. A boundary without a consequence is, frankly, just a suggestion. It's a wish, not a firm limit. For example, if someone keeps yelling when you've asked them to speak calmly, you might say, "I value our friendship, so if you keep yelling, I'm going to hang up and we can talk later when we can speak calmly." The crucial part? Follow through. If they yell again, you gently but firmly end the call. This isn't punitive, it's protective. It teaches them that your boundaries are real and that there are repercussions for disrespecting them. The people who fling ultimatums at your door, who test your limits relentlessly, often reveal themselves to be the exact reason you needed a door in the first place. Their resistance is not a sign that you're wrong. It's often confirmation that you're finally doing something very, very right for yourself. If this is hitting home, if you're feeling that spark of recognition and the urge to change, then do yourself a huge favor. Smash that subscribe button. It's a small click for you, but it sends a powerful signal to the algorithm that more people deserve to stop being emotional vending machines. And hey, while you're at it, drop a comment below. What's one tiny no you're going to practice this week? Your answer might just be the permission slip someone else needs to break free from their own people-pleasing prison. Let's build a community of empowered boundary setters. Within just a month of consistently practicing and upholding your boundaries, you're going to start noticing some truly profound changes. For starters, expect deeper, more restful sleep. Why? Because your brain won't be rehearsing fake arguments or tallying resentments at 3 a.m. Your mind will be quieter, less burdened by the emotional baggage of unsaid no's. You'll wake up feeling genuinely refreshed, rather than mentally exhausted before your day even begins. You'll also discover random, unexpected pockets of time that genuinely belong to you. Time to read that book, pursue that hobby, or simply sit in quiet contemplation without feeling like you should be doing something for someone else. Your social circle will also begin to shift in subtle but significant ways. You'll notice friends texting things like, "Mind if I vent for a bit?" instead of just dumping drama uninvited. They'll start asking, respecting your availability because you've subtly trained them to. Your self-esteem, that foundational sense of your own worth, will climb steadily. This isn't just wishful thinking. It's a direct result of witnessing yourself protecting your energy, honoring your needs, and speaking your truth. That newfound confidence isn't contained to just your personal life either. It leaks into every single domain. You'll find yourself negotiating better pay at work, speaking up more confidently in meetings, and finally chasing those creative projects you postponed for years. Your relationships too will undergo a beautiful transformation. They'll shift from feeling transactional, always about what you can give, to genuinely reciprocal. People will start checking in on what you need, because you've shown them, through your actions, that you matter. Life becomes less about merely surviving others' relentless demands and more about intentionally designing days you actually enjoy waking up to. This isn't just about avoiding burnout. It's about fostering an environment where you can truly thrive, where your mental and emotional health are prioritized, leading to a richer, more fulfilling existence. You'll experience a profound sense of autonomy and control over your own life, which is a cornerstone of psychological well-being. As you embark on this journey of boundary setting, be aware of a few common traps that can snag even the most well-intentioned boundary warrior. Trap 1. Over-explaining. We've touched on this, but it bears repeating. Keep it short, sweet, and to the point. The more words you add, the blurrier the line becomes, and the more invitations you extend for others to argue, negotiate, or try to find a loophole. A simple, "that doesn't work for me," is often far more powerful than a convoluted excuse. Trap 2. Apologizing for having needs. You are not a broken appliance needing justification for your existence or your preferences. Your needs are valid, inherent, and deserve to be respected. Saying, "I'm sorry, but I can't," immediately undermines the boundary you're trying to set. You have every right to your time, your energy, and your space. Trap 3. Setting a boundary once and assuming it's done forever. Think of boundaries not as rigid concrete walls, but as living documents. Life changes, relationships evolve, and your own capacity fluctuates. You'll need to revisit and adjust them as life changes. What felt comfortable last year might not feel comfortable now, and that's okay. It's an ongoing process of communication and self-awareness. Trap 4. Believing you must feel zero anxiety before you act. This is a big one. Many people wait for the fear to completely evaporate before they dare to set a boundary. But here's the truth about courage. It's not the absence of fear. Courage is action in the presence of fear. It's feeling the anxiety, the discomfort, and doing it anyway. The more you act despite the fear, the smaller that fear becomes, and the more confidence you build. Don't let the quest for perfect emotional composure prevent you from taking necessary steps for your well-being. Imagine two gardens. In one, there's no fence, no gate, nothing to delineate its space. Rabbits devour the carrots, neighborhood kids trample the tulips, and weeds spread unchecked. It's a free-for-all, constantly under siege, and though it might occasionally produce something, it's a struggle to maintain. Now picture the second garden. This one has a neat, charming white picket fence. Visitors pause at the gate, admire the vibrant blooms, and perhaps even ask if they can help water them. Which garden truly thrives? Which one is respected, nurtured, and allowed to flourish? Your relationships operate in precisely the same way. Boundaries are that fence. They create clarity, and clarity, my friends, breeds safety. When people know where your line lives, where your limits are, they can actually relax. There are no more guessing games, no more inadvertently stepping on toes because the rules were unspoken. Communication becomes honest, expectations are clear, and resentments become scarce. This clarity allows for far greater intimacy and trust, because both parties know what to expect and what is expected of them. The friends who stay, the partners who truly connect, are the ones who are investing in the real you, not the version of you who is frantically juggling favors and constantly overextending yourself. They're drawn to your authenticity, your self-respect, and your clear sense of self. Intimacy, true intimacy, skyrockets because you're showing up as your genuine self, unarmored by fake smiles and manufactured agreeableness. You're no longer hiding behind a facade of endless compliance. You're presenting your true self, with your true needs and limits, and that paradoxically is what allows for the deepest, most respectful, and most fulfilling connections. It's about building relationships based on mutual respect, not mutual exploitation. You came into this believing that niceness automatically earns affection, but I hope you're leaving with a far more powerful understanding. Respect earns respect. Stop trying so hard to be liked by absolutely everyone, because that's an exhausting and ultimately futile endeavor. Instead, start aiming to be respected. And that journey begins with respecting yourself. Every single time you bravely say no to what drains you, to what depletes your energy and diminishes your spirit, you are simultaneously saying a resounding yes to what sustains you, what nourishes your soul, and what allows you to truly thrive. Your relationships won't just survive this honesty, they will absolutely thrive on it, becoming more authentic, more balanced, and ultimately, more loving. So, take a deep breath. Feel that internal alarm, that gentle tug, and practice the graceful no today. Start small, stay steady, and watch your life transform. If you found value here, if this resonated, please share this with just one friend who you know is stuck in that people-pleasing prison. Hit that like button, subscribe for more insights, and remember this fundamental truth: you are not just allowed to take up space in your own life, you are absolutely required to. It's not selfish, it's self-preservation, and it's the foundation for a truly fulfilling existence.